Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Arrow Video Week 2. Now I did do a week of Arrow video reviews a month or two back, and I really enjoyed doing it because I love my Arrow movies. So this week we're looking at another 3 Arrow videos, and the first one tonight we're looking at is the Addams Family production of The Deeper You Dig. Now, this isn't the Addams Family as in Creepy and the Cookie. This is a family, a husband, wife, daughter that make movies, and they are the Addams Family. And this is a movie that's called The Deeper You Dig. Now, this is the Arrow release, collector's edition. Comes with a slipcase, comes with a Blu-ray of the movie, and it comes with a Blu-ray of a second movie called The Hatred. So you've got 2 movies. It comes with a booklet, a poster, quite a cool poster. So we've got a poster, double-sided poster there. So it comes with that, and it comes with a booklet too, a little sort of like insight of the making of the film, documentary and things like that. So that's pretty cool. This film, it's an outstanding film for a sort of like real small independent production, and it's shot absolutely beautifully, really beautifully shot. We kind of see this beautiful sort of snow mountains and hills. I'm not quite sure whereabouts in America it's actually filmed, but it's absolutely stunning, really beautiful, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And then we see a mother waiting in a car, picking up her daughter from school. So her daughter sort of turns up at school. Her daughter's quite cool. She's sort of like very sort of like and sort of like anti-anarchist sort of daughter against everything. She's wearing all the sort of gothic makeup and the blue lipstick and stuff like that. And she's pretty cool. And the mother's pretty cool. They get on really well. And she's talking to her mum in the car about saying, "Oh, they're saying I'm not allowed to wear dark makeup at school anymore." And the mother's like, "Do you want me to go and beat them up?" sort of thing. Anyway, so we sort of see them, and we cut to like a sort of a general store. It's a small town, it's a small town, and we see a guy in there buying a few bits. Now this guy, I'm not sure if he's new to the town, but he's a neighbour to the girl and the mother, which they don't know each other, but he's there renovating an old house. So he's there buying bits for that, and they're in there too buying little bits, whatever it is that they're buying, and we see them sort of like playing in the sort of like fields, and they're sort of like having a snow fight. They get on such a really good relationship between the mother and the daughter. It's really cool, really nice to see. And we see the guy. It's like these are the main characters. There's not many characters in the film, and these characters are the Addams Family, so they're actually playing the parts too. So we see him. He's like we sort of see him sort of in this old house, and he's sort of sweeping it up and he's cleaning it out and stuff. And we see him like at this sort of bar, and he's eating and having a drink and stuff like that. And the daughter asks the mother, "Can we do this sort of thing?" She goes, "No, I've got some sort of appointment tonight." Anyway, we cut to the mother, who's like with this other woman doing, and the mother is I think she's like a psychic, because she's reading these tarot cards for this woman, trying to sort of like this woman wants to contact her late husband or something like that. So she's doing this reading, and the daughter's sort of sitting there at home, looking really bored, sort of like drawing this quite impressive little picture of like a deer. She's well into sort of like this sort of deers and things like this. And we see the mother sort of like doing this sort of this sort of tarot card reading and things like that. And we see the guy leaving the bar. He's quite drunk. He's sort of stumbling everywhere, and sort of like seeing that, and he's going to go and drive home. The young girl who's bored, she goes out the house with her sledge to go sledging, you know, because she's bored. So she goes out. We then see the chap sort of driving his car in the dark, and we know he's drunk. We've gathered that by watching him stumbling everywhere. And he sees like a deer go across the road, and he just ignores it. And then he sort of like hears sort of like a little thud, not a massive, but a little thud. So he stops the car because he thinks he's hit the deer, and he goes out with his torch, and he's hit a person. So he goes back to the car, and he starts sort of crying and getting tearful, and he doesn't know what to do. So he pulls the car back to where the person was, gets out again with a torch, and we find out it's the young girl. She's been knocked over. So he sort of picks her up and piles them on the back of his truck and takes them to his... First of all, he tries to bury her in the snow, in the grounds where he lives. This house that he's renovating. He's trying to bury her. We see like the headlights shining on the snow, and he's trying to... But the ground is so hard, he can't do it. So he can't bury it at the moment because the ground's harder because of the snow. So he decides then to take her body into his house, and he puts her in some sort of old bath that he's got, and he just sort of puts her in there. And so we see him sort of looking at her, and her eyes open, and she sort of spurts out a bit of blood and stuff like that. So he's sort of taken back. She's still alive, but obviously he's still scared because, I mean, most honest people would have just reported it to the police, right? But he's obviously decided not to for whatever reason. So she's now alive, but he kills her, all right? Which is really strange. He sort of smothers her. He puts his hand over her mouth and nose and smothers her to death. So he kills her. It's like, what? I didn't understand that. I'm thinking, why would you do that? You know, you could make things better by apologizing. So, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, I brought you back here, I put you in here because it's, you know, so I suppose you couldn't really answer why he's put her in an old bath, but she was alive, and he just killed her. We then sort of cut to the mother making a phone call to the police for a lost person, missing person. So, you know, she's not there. She went out sledging, she thinks, and she's not there. And then we sort of cut back to the house, and the guy still not made any sort of decisions what he wants to do. And then the radio in the house keeps coming on, playing this old-fashioned song. And this old-fashioned song that's playing, the young girl likes, because she was listening to it on her headphones when she was alive. And it kept coming back, this song. And then he sees out the window, he sees the police arriving, 2 detectives. So he goes and talks to them, and they start questioning, do you know this girl? And he goes, no, I've never seen her before, don't know her. You know, so because she's gone missing, and they're asking where he's been, what was he doing the night before, and he looks really nervous and suspicious, and one of the sort of detectives pick up on that. But nothing really comes of that at all. The next we see him, he's driving off, and we see the mother walking down the road. She's sort of searching down the road. She's still looking for her daughter. So we see him driving off and overtaking her, and he didn't stop. So we then see the mother is sort of like, she's making these sort of posters and all this kind of thing, you know, missing person, and she takes them to the general store. We see that bloke there again, the killer, our murderer. He's there, and he's sort of like buying bits to bury this girl, like rope and like a big plastic sheet to wrap her up and stuff like that, because obviously when the snow melts, he's obviously going to bury her. So we see all this stuff going on, And in the story sort of takes a different sort of twist, which I'm not going to delve into because I want you to watch it and find out. So what's going on? Why would he kill her? When she was still alive, it was an accident. He could have probably just done an accident, sorted her out, and then, because she was alive, take her home. And there would have been probably nothing else for it. They probably would have thanked him. But anyway, that's why did he do that? And is the mother's psychic sort of things going to come into any kind of thing to help her find out what's happened to her daughter? You need to watch it and find out, because it does take a little couple of twists and turns, because the guy in the house starts getting all this sort of hauntings from the girl, and he starts seeing her. He starts seeing visions of her, and the radio keeps going on, and all this sort of weird stuff goes on. And the mother, she sort of goes in the daughter's room and finds this sort of witchcraft sort of pentagram in a book that she's drawn. So all this weird stuff's going on. So you need to watch it and find out what's happened. What do I think of the Deeper You Dig? It was brilliant. Absolutely amazing film. I had a wonderful time watching it. It was just such a good story. It's right up my street, because it is a slow burn story. There's not like killings, but it's an intriguing story. It's very similar to films like, if you've seen a film called I See You, it's quite similar in a way, that kind of sort of vein of film. And I love those sort of films. Really cool. The pluses of the film, the transfer is stunning. It looks beautiful. Absolutely amazing. For a family to have shot this film with, like, I think camcorders, 4K camcorders, they've done an amazing job. It looks stunning. It looks fantastic. There's great scenery views. There's some close-ups. There's some great visual. It's a visual treat. It's amazing. The acting's pretty good too, considering it's a family and they all know each other. But it's really, really well acted and really cool. The story is fantastic. It's a really good story. I mean, basically, the guy's had an accident, isn't he? He's run over the girl, and he's tried to hide it for some reason. He tried to bury her, and now he's been haunted by it. And the mother's sort of onto him. So that's the sort of story that it is. Fantastic. The minus of the film, I can't really think of any. There is a little bit of gore in there, which is quite cool. It is a slow burn film, so be prepared for that. But not all horror films have to be, 100% full on like Terrifier. Sometimes it's good to have films that make you think and sort of like draw you in more, like The Witch and things like that. This is very similar to that sort of vein of films. It's sort of one of those films that sort of draws you in, or like that British horror film I like, The Ritual, that sort of thing. It just sort of draws you in. Such a good film, and it does remind me of that film I See You, which I think I've reviewed on my channel already. Really cool film. So I'm going to score the film an amazing watch and give it an 8 out of 10. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend you seeing The Deeper You Dig. Have any of you guys seen the film? If you have, let me know down below what you thought of it. It's such a good movie for such a sort of like small independent film. It was really scary, and it was really eerie, and it had suspense, and it had you're on. It makes you look at both sides, because you want them to find out it's him, but then you don't want him to sort of like get caught. I don't know. I was sort of like on both sides, because like I say, it was an accident, but obviously there was a reason why he didn't admit to it. So I'm not going to go through the story and tell you any spoilers. I just want you to have a look at it. But please go and check out The Deeper You Dig on Arrow Video. Such a cool horror film. Until my next Arrow video, which will be later in this week, please check out some horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, The Man v Film, RS Designs, Pizzawell, I Am the Ice Lord, Cat Watches Horror, Grumpy Andrews Horror House, and Sarah of Horror. Until next time, you look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.